Maria was taken aback by Ronan's question, shocked that he would ask something so personal. Reacting swiftly, she delivered a powerful slap across his face. As Ronan felt the force of the slap, a sense of familiarity washed over him, leading him to believe that only the old Maria could deliver such a blow. In his previous life, Ronan served as a disciplinary soldier at a location known as Armalan. The Maria, he remembered, held the responsibility of managing supplies at Armalan. She was generally easygoing and well-liked among her peers. However, whenever conversations turned to topics like genitals, Maria would become incensed and swiftly slap those around her. Ronan had always harbored curiosity about Maria's behavior. He longed to question Maria about the matter, but the opportunity never arose before Maria's passing. Upon learning that Maria's reactions stemmed from her identity as a girl, Ronan felt a sense of relief. However, Maria misinterpreted Ronan's reaction as laughter directed at her. Angered by what she perceived as mockery, Maria moved to strike Ronan again. This time, Ronan intercepted her attack and firmly struck her head, commanding her to refrain from hitting him again. Ronan explained that he had only permitted Maria to strike him due to his own foolish inquiry. Annoyed by his response, Maria responded by headbutting Ronan's chin. This action quickly escalated into a physical altercation between them. However, once the heat of the moment subsided, Ronan and Maria reconciled and resumed their conversation on amicable terms, appearing as if they were old friends catching up. Assassinated watched in astonishment at the sudden shift in their dynamic. Assassinated couldn't help but think they were both a little crazy. Maria presented a sword known as the Black Iron Sword, boasting about its remarkable quality that even knights coveted. Ronan expressed his concern, stating that he fought in a rough manner and required a sword that wouldn't easily break. However, Maria reassured him that the Black Iron Sword was precisely what he needed, insisting it was the best choice for him. Ronan felt a surge of joy as he received the sword, recognizing it as the same one he wielded in his past life. After handing over the weapon, Maria turned to Assassinated and inquired about the type of magic he utilized. Assassinated explained that he utilized telekinesis. Maria was taken aback by this revelation and informed Assassinated that if he performed admirably on his test, he could potentially earn a scholarship. Assassinated was overjoyed upon hearing Maria's encouraging words. Maria felt confident that Assassinated would excel and decided to shift her focus to Ronan. She inquired about the technique he planned to showcase to the judges on the day of the test, emphasizing the importance of impressing them with a remarkable display if he wished to gain admission to Filion Academy. The school also administers a written exam, known for its difficulty, though it pales in comparison to the practical test. The practical examination holds immense significance. Performing well in it could secure entry into the academy, even for those with lower scores on the written test. Ronan sought Maria's guidance on the technique he should showcase. Maria explained that noble applicants often showcase their family's guarded techniques, while regular martial arts candidates typically present their unique mana fighting styles. Ronan, taken aback by this revelation, inquired whether it was feasible for martial artists to utilize mana despite not being mages. Maria was taken aback by Ronan's question. She explained that individuals aspiring to join Filion Academy were expected to possess the ability to sense and utilize their own mana in combat. She assumed this was common knowledge, so she was surprised by Ronan's reaction, as he appeared to regard her explanation incredulously. Ronan inquired whether sensing mana resembled detecting aura, leaving Maria astonished by his question. She found it difficult to believe that Ronan, with his apparent lack of knowledge, aspired to enter Filion Academy. Ronan reassured her, suggesting that he might already possess some understanding of the concept. Maria, determined to help him, invited Ronan outside, taking 2 short swords that belonged to him. Despite Ronan's reluctance to risk damaging the swords, Maria insisted, promising to compensate him 3-fold if any harm befell them. Urging Ronan to rise and join her immediately, she expressed her intention to provide him with specialized training. Mana serves as the essence of natural power, a pervasive energy inherent in the world. However, not everyone possesses the ability to harness it. To utilize mana effectively, individuals must first develop the capacity to sense and connect with their own inner energy through mana sense. This process requires undergoing diverse training regimens aimed at fostering self-awareness and understanding. Typically, it requires around a year for an ordinary individual to develop mana sense. Following the mastery of mana techniques through dedicated practice, they then seek admission to Philion Academy. Maria conveyed to Ronan that his inability to differentiate between aura and mana indicated he wasn't quite prepared for enrollment at Philion Academy. Maria explained to Ronan that aura is a subtype of mana, and even individuals with considerable talent in mana manipulation typically spend a minimum of 10 years honing their skills to access aura. Ronan recalled encountering individuals capable of utilizing aura on the battlefield. While they often boasted about their abilities and wielded extraordinary powers, Ronan remained indifferent, as many of them ultimately met their demise. Maria abruptly ceased her explanation and swiftly drew her sword, launching an attack against Ronan. Ronan swiftly defended himself, taken aback by her formidable strength. He marveled at her proficiency and adeptness in wielding dual blades. Though he couldn't discern if she was employing mana, he sensed its utilization in their duel. Maria found herself impressed by Ronan's prowess. Initially, her intention was to swiftly defeat Ronan in a single round, thereby showcasing the utility of mana and prompting him to abandon the test voluntarily. Her aim was to spare Ronan the potential humiliation at the academy. However, to her astonishment, Ronan displayed a level of strength far surpassing her expectations. Maria was incredulous that Ronan lacked proficiency in mana manipulation. Lost in contemplation, she was caught off guard as Ronan swiftly employed his sword to create distance between them. Assuming a lethal stance, Ronan instructed her to evade his strike. Thankfully, Maria heeded Ronan's warning and managed to dodge the impending attack. Having skillfully evaded Ronan's attack, Maria remarked that Ronan was far from ordinary. In response, Ronan acknowledged Maria's proficiency, noting her talent with the blades. However, he pointed out a flaw in her balance, suggesting that refining this aspect would greatly enhance her abilities. He assured her that addressing this issue would lead to significant improvement. Having imparted his advice, Ronan sheathed his sword and pivoted away, much to Maria's chagrin. She insisted that the fight was far from concluded and urged him to press on. Ronan, however, reminded her of their agreement to triple his funds. Instantly, Maria's dual blades shattered, leaving her in a state of utter disbelief. Assel reassured her, expressing his lack of surprise at Ronan's victory. Following their departure, Maria was left reeling from the encounter, convinced that Ronan transcended mere humanity. The following day, she presented Ronan and Assel with books and materials, painstakingly summarized by herself. When Ronan inquired about their purpose, Maria explained their significance. Maria was taken aback by Ronan's reaction. She clarified that the books were essential for their upcoming test in just a month's time. Ronan's skepticism flared, questioning if she was trying to overcharge them. Maria quickly reassured him, expressing her fondness for them and her sincere desire for their success at Philion Academy. Upon hearing that the books were complimentary, Ronan sheathed his sword. Maria expressed her regret that she couldn't personally tutor them due to their group relocating. However, she encouraged them to dedicate themselves to their studies and promised to reunite at the academy. Ronan assured her they would do their best, urging her to take care of herself as well. As Maria boarded the carriage, she reminded them to safeguard the books until they met again on test day. Once she departed, Ronan became aware of the soreness in his body from the intense sparring session. Recognizing the urgency of strengthening his weakened physique, he found amusement in the irony of needing to study and train rigorously to gain entry into an academy. Despite the oddity of his circumstances, he harbored no resentment towards it. Upon Ronan's return home, his routine took a drastic turn. He consumed ample food and engaged in constant monster hunts to acclimate to his body and enhance his stamina. Over time, he managed to eliminate all the monsters in the village. During the nights, Ronan dedicated himself to diligent study, a practice he never envisioned undertaking in his past life. As the month drew to a close, Ronan adhered to his routine diligently until the day of the test arrived. Assel was awestruck at the sight of Philion Academy, its grandeur akin to a miniature city. Ronan, noticing Assel's stunned expression, quipped for him to cease his gawking. lest he resemble a rustic. Just as Assel was about to apologize, he caught sight of something peculiar about Ronan. Noticing Ronan's changed physique, Assel remarked on how much larger he appeared in just a month. Ronan brushed off the observation, urging Assel to direct his attention to more pertinent matters, like the impending test. As they walked, Ronan's thoughts turned to the significance of the occasion, realizing that the renowned sword Saint Schlieffen, the Empire's mightiest warrior, would also be participating in the test. Ronan anticipated encountering Schlieffen during the test, given their similar ages and Schlieffen's representation of the esteemed Grantia swordsmanship clan. Lost in thought, he was interrupted by Assel's inquiry about the feather from the dream bird. Ronan produced the feather, remembering that Baron's institution was located in the capital. As Ronan unveiled the feather, he observed its direction, pointing toward a towering structure within Filion Academy. At the pinnacle of this edifice, Marps and Baron, the Academy's zoology professor, were busy rearranging Baron's office to welcome Ronan. Notably, Baron was a werelion. Feeling the need for fresh air, Baron opted to open the window. As soon as he opened the window, he was met with Ronan's eerie countenance. Startled, both he and Marps let out a scream at the unexpected sight. Baron inquired how Ronan managed to reach his window, given that his office was situated on the top floor. He questioned whether they were after Marps. In response, Ronan presented the feather as evidence. Surprised, Baron recognized them as the individuals who rescued the bird. Baron apologized for his reaction, and Ronan assured him it wasn't an issue. He jokingly blamed Assel for their unconventional entrance, much to Assel's surprise. Assel explained that Ronan had claimed to be too tired for the stairs and asked him to use telekinesis to lift him up, hence their window entry. Ronan quickly covered Assel's mouth to prevent him from spilling the truth. He expressed his surprise at learning that Baron was both a werelion and a professor at Filion Academy. In turn, Baron admitted his astonishment at discovering that Ronan and Assel were applicants to the Academy. He regretted not knowing earlier, as he could have provided them with a recommendation letter, potentially exempting them from the test. Ronan reassured Baron, telling him not to be concerned about them. Then, he presented the egg laid by Marps. Baron's surprise was evident upon seeing it. When Ronan questioned his reaction, Baron explained that an egg laid by a dream bird holds significance beyond that of a typical egg. Baron confessed his uncertainty regarding what creature would hatch from the egg. Ronan found this revelation surprising. Baron elucidated that the environment in which the dream bird resides influences the egg's development. For instance, in a volcanic region, a phoenix might emerge, while in a monster's den, the hatched bird could resemble the local creatures. In some cases, the resultant creature might not even resemble a bird at all. Baron explained that by analyzing the manner of the dream bird, he could make an educated guess about the creature that would hatch from the egg. However, he admitted that at the moment, he couldn't definitively determine its nature. Ronan felt a pang of annoyance at the complexity of the situation. He found it incredulous that an egg could cause such stress. He pondered over the environment Marps had been in to lay such an enigmatic egg. Baron entrusted Ronan with the care of the egg, emphasizing its preciousness. Ronan hesitated, considering the responsibility, but Baron assured him that a dream bird lays an egg only once in its lifetime. The significance of Marp's choice to lay it in front of Ronan hinted at something special between them. Intrigued by the mystery, Ronan agreed to take on the task, eager to witness the creature that would emerge from the egg. Ronan and Assel prepared to depart for their test, but Baron halted them, presenting a map to aid in caring for the egg. Grateful for the assistance, they accepted it and hurried to their examination venue. The main hall of Fort Galerian Castle bustled with martial arts applicants awaiting their turn. An attendant emerged, summoning applicant 112 to enter the test room. As Ronan observed the queue, he noted that he would be next after applicant 112, feeling a sense of fatigue from the wait. Maria, seated beside him, reassured him that such waits were customary for all tests. Curious, Ronan inquired about Maria's attire, to which she explained that Filion Academy was attended by nobles, and she wished to make a favorable impression on potential future customers. As applicant 112 emerged from the room, Ronan, now applicant 113, was summoned inside. Maria offered him words of encouragement, urging him not to be nervous and to give his best effort. Ronan reassured her, expressing confidence that everything would be fine. Stepping into the room, he was taken aback by the presence of the professors, each emanating an aura of extraordinariness. Among them, the figure of the Academy's headmaster and archmage, Carve, stood out prominently. Ronan was equally struck by the formidable presence exuded by the swordsmanship instructor, a woman known as Naviros, revered as the Grand Sword Saint. Upon introducing himself, he was promptly instructed to engage in combat with a magically engineered dummy. When questioned about the technique he intended to demonstrate, Ronan simply replied that he would employ a swift cut. The professors were taken aback by Ronan's decision to execute a basic cut without utilizing any mana. They questioned his strategy, deeming it foolish, as the dummy boasted formidable defensive capabilities capable of withstanding attacks from even skilled aura users. Moreover, its rapid regeneration further compounded the challenge. The professors considered Ronan's approach naive, given that even Schlieffen struggled to inflict damage upon the dummy. Carve was dismayed by the professor's disrespectful attitude towards Ronan, but he chose to disregard their behavior. Instead, he focused on Ronan, astonished by the young man's remarkable vitality. As Ronan drew his sword and swiftly struck the dummy, Carve was taken aback by his display of skill and agility. Naviros, too, found herself surprised by Ronan's proficiency. However, despite Ronan's successful attack, the professors ridiculed him. The professors were incredulous at Ronan's decision to demonstrate only a single cut. One of them turned to Carve to inquire about how to grade Ronan, but Carve was too absorbed in observing Ronan's performance to respond. While Carve's attention was fixed on Ronan, Naviros seized her sword and launched an attack. She questioned Ronan about the origin of his swordsmanship. Ronan replied that he couldn't provide an answer to her initial question. Undeterred, Naviros rephrased her inquiry. She inquired if Ronan had observed her attack. Ronan confirmed, describing her rapid unsheathing and 3 successive swings despite the distance between them. Naviros explained that her 3 swings were meant to highlight the arrogance she perceived in Ronan's swift cut. Naviros expressed her frustration, noting that she had observed Ronan deliberately slowing down his attack to ensure the professors could fully perceive his actions. She found this disrespectful to their expertise. Meanwhile, the other professors were unable to discern if Ronan had indeed slowed his strike, leaving them perplexed. Ronan was taken aback by Naviros's accusation. Ronan hesitated to clarify his intention, unsure if it would only exacerbate Naviros's anger. However, after she calmed down, she sheathed her sword and unexpectedly offered to mentor Ronan herself. Carve was astonished by Naviros's swift decision to take Ronan under her wing. Carve expressed his gratitude for Ronan's demonstration and inquired about his motivation for applying to their academy. Reflecting on his past experiences, Ronan expressed his desire to pursue his aspirations without any regrets. Carve was taken aback by Ronan's response and requested him to step out after hearing his answer, clearly surprised by his sincerity. Carve expressed his eagerness to mentor Ronan, citing the young man's evident talent. This declaration surprised one of the professors, who questioned what made Ronan special. Carve simply stated that Ronan possessed innate talent. Suddenly, the magically engineered dummy, previously boasting rapid regeneration, lost its head. The 2 professors who had earlier mocked Ronan were stunned by this unexpected display of skill. Leaving the room, Ronan pondered whether he could have surpassed Naviros in his previous life. He realized the need for intensive training to match her skill. Despite this, he felt optimistic about his decision to attend Filion Academy, recognizing the opportunity for growth it presented. As the practical test concluded, candidates prepared for the theory exam. Despite a month of preparation, Ronan found the theory exam unexpectedly challenging. Emerging from the test center, he trembled with anxiety. Maria was astounded to learn that Ronan struggled to answer even half of the questions, especially considering she had urged him to study the books she provided. Asel informed Maria that Ronan had forgotten to review the books and materials she provided. Maria reassured Ronan, expressing confidence in his performance during the practical test and his potential acceptance into the academy. Suddenly, a blue tablet materialized in their vicinity, displaying the students' results. Assassinated claimed the top spot in the theory exam and secured the 12th position in the practical exam for the magic department. Maria achieved the 9th rank in both the theory and practical exams for the martial arts department. Upon discovering their results, Assassinated and Maria erupted in celebration. Maria expressed her surprise and congratulated Assassinated for clinching the first position in the theory exam. Amid their jubilation, Maria inquired about Ronan's results. To her surprise, Ronan revealed that his name wasn't on the list. Disbelief clouded Maria's expression as she urged Ronan to cease his jest. Just as Ronan's hope began to wane, a sudden explosion rattled the vicinity. Turning to investigate, they beheld the source, a magnificent phoenix known as the Glory Phoenix. The majestic phoenix, known for heralding the salutatorian of each department, unleashed a fiery projectile toward Ronan. As the fiery orb neared him, it unveiled his standings: first place in the practical exam and an unexpected 5,112th position in the theory exam. This surprising revelation declared Ronan the salutatorian of the martial arts department. Assassinated and Maria erupted in joy at Ronan's unexpected achievement. Despite his lower rank in the theory exam, Ronan couldn't contain his happiness. Maria, however, couldn't fathom how he became salutatorian with his theory exam position. Amidst their celebration, Ronan pondered the implications of his first-place finish in the practical exam, realizing he must have surpassed someone significant to claim the top spot. As Ronan glanced behind him, he noticed a boy approaching, disbelief etched on his face. This boy was none other than Schlieffen, the one expected to claim the top spot in the practical exam had Ronan not intervened. Schlieffen, renowned as the Sword Saint, stood before him. Ronan was taken aback by Schlieffen's presence. Maria speculated that Schlieffen sought to converse with Ronan, but Ronan harbored doubts about Schlieffen's intentions. He was irked by Schlieffen's presence, aware of the trouble he could stir. In Ronan's previous existence, Schlieffen harbored a disdain for anyone surpassing him in swordsmanship. Ronan understood the importance of evading Schlieffen's attention. He feigned surprise, claiming he was equally astonished by his top ranking in the practical exam. But Schlieffen remained skeptical, accusing Ronan of falsehoods. Ronan staunchly defended his honesty, challenging Schlieffen to provide evidence to the contrary. Ronan sternly requested Schlieffen to leave him be. Ignoring Ronan's plea, Schlieffen opted for aggression to substantiate his doubts. Initiating an attack, he aimed to force Ronan into defense. Much to the surprise of onlookers like Assassinated and Maria, Ronan adeptly parried Schlieffen's assault. Schlieffen, acknowledging Ronan's skill, conceded that such a defense was beyond someone not ranked first in the practical exam. Annoyed by Schlieffen's skepticism, Ronan decided to demonstrate his prowess. With a serious demeanor, he launched a fierce attack, executing 3 slashes in rapid succession. Although Schlieffen managed to block Ronan's assault, his hand began to tremble afterward. Despite acknowledging Ronan's impressive technique, Schlieffen remained doubtful that it was sufficient to defeat him. Schlieffen relentlessly pressed his assault, urging Ronan to unleash his full capabilities. Ronan, growing increasingly frustrated, found Schlieffen's intensity unfathomable. Despite Schlieffen's insistence that he couldn't accept the exam results, Ronan deftly parried each blow with strength and determination. As Ronan defended against the onslaught, a sense of dread crept over him, realizing the dire potential consequences of the escalating confrontation. He feared that Schlieffen might soon tap into his formidable aura, the Tempest Sword, a force he remembered well from his previous life, a power of unparalleled strength and ferocity. As the gravity of the situation dawned on him, Ronan abruptly halted his defense and opted to flee. Schlieffen, taken aback by this unexpected turn, admonished Ronan for such a cardinal error in combat, never turning one's back on an adversary. Determined, Schlieffen pursued Ronan relentlessly. However, when he moved to strike, Ronan swiftly interposed a cell as a shield, catching Schlieffen off guard with this unexpected maneuver. Schlieffen berated Ronan for his perceived cowardice, accusing him of hiding behind a woman. However, Assassinated corrected him, asserting his gender. Aware of Schlieffen's chivalrous demeanor, Ronan seized the opportunity to strike, thrusting his sword toward Schlieffen's nose from behind Assel's cover. The unexpected attack caught Schlieffen off guard, causing him considerable pain. Ronan swiftly instructed Maria and Assel to flee, urging them to escape while they had the chance. Schlieffen made an attempt to intercept them, but they had already distanced themselves from him. As they departed, an academy instructor arrived, taken aback to find Schlieffen leaning on his sword, nursing an injured nose. Addressing Schlieffen respectfully as Sir Schlieffen, the instructor appeared surprised by the scene before him. The instructor inquired about the students responsible for Schlieffen's injuries. However, Schlieffen insisted on informal address, stating that as an applicant, he should be treated as any commoner. He assured the instructor not to worry, emphasizing that the altercation had been a fair bout. As he rose to his feet and regained his composure, Schlieffen observed that his sword had sustained a crack. The sight of his mithril sword cracking surprised Schlieffen immensely. He couldn't fathom how such a sturdy weapon had been damaged, especially considering he didn't regard Ronan's techniques as particularly extraordinary. Perplexed by the turn of events, Schlieffen resolved to remember Ronan, realizing there was more to him than met the eye. The next day, Ronan and Assel ventured into Shimo Forest on the outskirts of the capital. Assel expressed concern about their safety, given Schlieffen's status as the scion of a powerful ducal family, second only to the imperial family. Ronan assured Assel that despite Schlieffen's sword obsession, he believed him to be fundamentally decent. In Ronan's past life, Schlieffen was revered as a paragon, known for his defense of the vulnerable. Ronan viewed him as the epitome of nobility. Ronan speculated to Assel that Schlieffen likely portrayed their encounter as equitable because, had he desired retribution, they would have faced consequences by now. After a thorough search, Ronan and Azela located the spot indicated on the map. This location is Panado Pond, renowned for its mana vein. For reasons yet unknown, mana from across the world converges here, coalescing into a pool known as a mana vein. Surrounding matter absorbs mana from this source, transforming ordinary rocks into premium mana stones and mundane plants into extraordinary herbs. Ronan understood the immense value of a mana vein, knowing many would seek to monopolize it. Yet, Baron had entrusted it to them freely for the eggs hatching. Turning to Assel, Ronan inquired about the atmosphere. Assel confirmed the unusual sensation, expressing how the abundance of mana allowed for significantly more potent spellcasting. Observing the mana vein, Assel remarked on the egg's absorption of the abundant mana. Curious, he asked Ronan if he sensed anything unusual about the area. Ronan inquired further, and Assel recalled Baron's mention of the mana vein, attracting a diverse array of fantastical creatures, even ordinary animals finding it an ideal nesting ground. Assel queried Ronan about any animal noises he might hear. Ronan's senses sharpened as he realized his mistake. Rising to his feet, he cautioned Assel to prepare for combat, citing the scent of blood in the air. Puzzled, Assel sought clarification, prompting Ronan to explain that the presence of blood indicated others had visited the area before them and were now aware of their presence. If you guys want to see the next part, then don't forget to subscribe and like the video.